जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारी वनचारी तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, today we're reading the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 64. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 64. Sarvaguyatma Mambuya Shunu. One line. Shunu me paramam vacha.
Shanu me paramam vacha.
Ishtosi me tridam iti.
Vishwasi me Adamati.
Tato vakshyami te hitam.
Tato Vakshami Dehitam.
Sarvaguyatmam Bhuya.
Sarvaduyatmana.
Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishtosmi issimi dardam iti. Tato vakshyami te hitam. Sarvaguyatamam bhuya. Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishtosi me dvidam iti. Tato vakshyami te hitam.
Sarvaguitamam bhuya.
Sarvaguyatamam bhuya. Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishto asi me tridam iti. Tato vakshyami te hitam. Sarvaguyatmam me bhuya. Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishto asi me tam iti. Tato vakshyami te hitam.
Sarvaguyatmam bhuya.
Sarvaguyatmam bhuya.
Shanu me paramam vacha.
Shunu me paramam vacha.
Ishto asi me dvidam iti.
Ishtos isme pitam iti.
Tato vakshami te hitam.
Tato vakshami te hitam. Ladies. Sarvaguyatmam bhuya. Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishto asi me tridam iti. Tato vakshami te hitam. Sarvaguyatmam bhuya. Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishto me tam ganti. To vakshami te hitam. Sarvagiyatmam bhuya. Shunu me paramam vacha. Ishto asi me tirtam iti. Tato vakshami te hitam. Word by word translation. Sarva Guya Tamam, the most confidential of all. Guya, again. Shrunu, just here. Me, from me. Paramam, the supreme. Vacha, instruction. Ishta Asi, you are dear. Me, to me. Dritam, very. Iti, thus. Tata, therefore. Vakshyami, I am speaking. Te, for your. Hitam, benefits. The translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Purport: the Lord has given Arjuna the knowledge that is confidential, knowledge of Brahman, and still more confidential, knowledge of the Supersoul within everyone's heart. And now he is giving the most confidential part of knowledge. Just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of the 9th chapter, he has said, Manmana, just always think of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. This essence is not understood by a common man, but by one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is the most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjuna, but by all living entities. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanajaya Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasham Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahajana Gunayatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahajana Lalita Shri Lalita Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vishpanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaya Evacha Patitanam Pavanitebhyo Vaishnavanyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna everyone. I pay my respects to all my elders, my gurus, devotees, my friends. This is the first time I'm doing this, so please bear with me, forgive my mistakes, and please correct me if I'm going wrong. Please bless me so that I can purify myself and so share something with the wisdom that we have been given by our elders, our gurus, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I'm going to read the translation again. It says, because you are my very dear friend, I'm speaking to you, my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Okay, looking at this verse, three things come to me. First of all, is the culmination of the last few verses of the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about confidential knowledge, the most confidential knowledge, and the still more confidential knowledge. So the confidential knowledge is the knowledge of Brahman. Still more confidential knowledge is knowledge of the super soul within everyone. And the most confidential is just surrender into the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's the confidential surrender plus the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So the surrender to the Supreme. And we have a very good example of a surrendered soul. We all know him. Srila Prabhupada. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Srila Prabhupada. I won't go to his history from the very beginning, but when he went to America, and sort of compare it to what we have experienced here. I have really, really felt his presence here. So going out onto Harinam, distributing books, talking to the locals, talking to people about Krishna, the soul, the super soul. And it really brought me home how Prabhupada went to the West with just a few dollars and a trunk full of books. He went on a boat on stormy seas, he had 3 heart attacks, and his only prayer was, if Krishna, if this is what you wish for me, please may it be so. And he survived the heart attacks. And the boat owner said to him afterwards, this was the smoothest journey we've ever had. So Krishna was with him when he traveled to the West. Okay, Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj gave him the instructions, go into the West and preach. And that was at the back of his mind. I'm going to go into a little bit of dates that Lavanga Prabhu so discussed with me today. So some facts. So 1922, he met his spiritual master. 1933, he took initiation. 1944, he started the Back to Godhead. 1955, again, this was information by Bhupendra Prabhu. He formed the League of Devotees, League of Friends from his godbrothers. 1966, he founded ISKCON, and 1977, he left his body to go to the heavenly planets. So, he was in a strange land. He had never been to America. It was cold. He didn't have much resources. He was on his own. He had a family that looked after him for a little while. After that, he was on his own. He met many young, dissatisfied Americans who were high on drugs and not very clean, not very spiritual. But they were looking for something, and I think Prabhupada saw that in them, and he converted them to devotees. How did he do that? He led by example. He cooked for them, he cleaned for them, and he did the prayers, and he followed his own sadhana, and the devotees sort of followed him, and he made many, many, many followers. We went to the lighthouse yesterday, and many people that Prabhupada would have met in America, we met the same kind of people. People who were high on drugs, not quite all there, and obviously they were looking for something. So we talked to them, we gave them books, but I did feel a lot of presence of Prabhupada there. So what would Prabhupada have done here when he was here, if he was here? And I said he would have gone out and he would have done that. So he converted the hippies into devotees, and he asked them to follow the four regulative principles of no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. And he made many, many devotees, and he initiated them quite quickly so that they could follow his sadhana, his practices. We went in a group, we are a large group, and we supported each other, we helped each other, we had everyone's backs. But I thought Prabhupada was on his own, he went out and he had no support, but he still did it. He did kirtan under a tree, and I remember stories about Srila Prabhupada on his own in Tomlinson Square doing kirtan with his karthalas. We were under a tree yesterday. We were doing kirtan, and it felt so right. It felt as if he was there, and I can only marvel at his faith and surrender that he went with to America. He attracted the right people. Obviously, Krishna was with him. He was surrendered to Krishna. So Krishna sent him the right people. Obviously, Srila Prabhupada trained them. I think we can do the same. If we pray and surrender to Krishna, the right people will come to us as devotees. And I think Mombasa is right for it. We saw lots of people who were quite eager. They were running after us. Can we have the book? Can we have the book? What is it all about? So I think there is potential here, and we need to exploit that. From Prabhupada's lecture, December 26, 1966 in New York, he talked about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 34, Manmanaha. He says, always think of me, just become my devotee, and if you want to worship, just worship me. He says we all identify either politically, socially, or religiously, economically, to a party. So we all belong to a party, whether it's a Hindu, Christian, Muslim. We also belong to a political party, but we all belong to God's party. So we identify ourselves with God's party. We call each other crazy because we don't understand what everybody's religion is, whether you are a Hindu or a Christian, Mr. or Mrs., black, white, brown, green, blue. So we need to all belong to God's party. Okay. With the essence, so that's the confidential part, with the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, I'm going back to Swami Kesava's Bhagavad Gita lecture, 2023. He recited the whole Bhagavad Gita, and he sort of gave us a few points on each and every chapter. So I got those written down here, and they're really, really powerful, if I can find them. Okay, so first chapter is observing the armies, and Keshava Swami says, when your eyes are full of tears, make a decision to be all ears. Learn to grow through problems, turn pain to purpose. Chapter 2, Contents of the Gita. Soul is the deepest thing, journey within. Chapter 3, Karma Yoga. Your life is your message. Greatest thing is your integrity, character. Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. Science do things better. Spirituality is to do better things, better deeds. Chapter 5, it is better to focus on the process than to obsess about success. Chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga. Just as important as 9 to 5 is what you do from 5 to 9. Train your mind. Chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute. The purpose of existing is to experience real living. Chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme. Even if we move into a better cell, we are still in prison. Wise people open eyes. We are not meant to be here. We live happily after in Krishna consciousness. Chapter 9, Most Confidential Knowledge. The most glorious king conquers the inner territory. Chapter 10, Opulence of Absolute. When we see the glitter of the world, it can remind us glory of God. Chapter 11, Vishwarupa, time takes away everything temporary and leaves us with everything eternal. Chapter 12, Devotional Service, to fill the void within, we need to connect with the divinity beyond. Chapter 13, Nature, Enjoyer, and Unconsciousness. If we think everything is matter, people will think nothing matters. Chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. The richest person is not who has the most, but the one who needs the least. Chapter 15, Yoga of the Supreme Person. Instead of pursuing dreams in illusion, a wise person should find reality in transcendence. Chapter 16, Divine and Demonic Natures. There can only be world peace when people find their inner peace. Chapter 17, Division of Faith. Our speech is important, powerful. Use speech wisely. Give them peace of mind, not a piece of your mind. Chapter 18, Perfection of Renunciation. Learn from the past. Live for the present. Love for eternity. This is chapter 18. Learn from the past. Live for the present. Love for eternity. Thank you. I'd like to finish off with a quote of Srila Prabhupada. Give a lecture, and we usually get some quotes every day. So, as rivers flow to that dissolution in the sea, giving up their names and forms at their destination, so the wise man who becomes free from material names and forms attain the supreme absolute, the wonderful personal Godhead. I'll repeat that again. As rivers flow to their dissolution in the sea, giving up their names and forms at their destination, so the wise man who becomes free from material names and forms attain the supreme, absolute, the wonderful personality Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, any reflections? Any reflections, corrections?
He said, sorry, I couldn't come slowly. What was he talking today? So you said, what was he talking today? Another class.
Chapter 18, verse 64. The most confidential knowledge. Surrender to Krishna.
So he said, because I miss, was not because I miss the class. Unfortunately, I was away. That's only what was
Okay. It's surrendering to the Almighty God. Surrender to the Supreme. श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, श्री गौर निताय की जय. Finish the class here?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
For answering surrender and how qualities of program answering you highlighted and giving us a first class, it was first class.
My first class.
Thank you so much. This verse talks about the most confidential knowledge. So previously, Krishna was enlightening Arjuna about the Brahman realization, and obviously the Paramatma realization. And in this verse, it's the same to me, the Brahman realization was the point. So it's clearly a progression like that. But would you say the devotees practicing Krishna consciousness, how should they progress in order to get towards that Brahman realization?
think I've got lots of elders who could answer that question better than me. Prabhuji?
What is the question?
As devotees progress in their practice, and it's a progression from Brahman to Paramatma to Bhagwan. What is that progression?
Hare Krishna. So ultimate realization means to realize we are the part and parcel of the Lord Sri Krishna. Jewel Swarup of Krishna. This is the realization. So as much we progress, we feel closer and closer to Krishna. And we realize Krishna is our real father and we are his part, sons and part and parcel. That is the deep realization. So when you feel I am the servant of Krishna, I am the part and parcel of Krishna, you start feeling humility and meek and humility. So when in our realization we progress in spiritual life, and then we become meek and humble. So means you are going a right path, right way in realization. And ultimately we, because in between this, like Brahman realization to Supreme Lord realization, there is a lot of obstructions are there, obstacles are there. Obstacles are path of devotional service. There is a lot of obstacles. The jnana comes, karma comes, and then siddhis, perfection comes, then Lord worrying nature comes. Ultimate law is to become God. Because that realization makes that is ultimate Maya, last stranja of Maya to make you God. So all these are like you are crossing the nations of ocean through the path, but in the ocean you are trying to cross. In the ocean is very dangerous.
Story.
Aquatics are there, like the shark and others, big. It can eat you. So that's why devotional service always has to be done in association of devotees. Devotees, they don't want to go in Himalaya and doing something like that. No. More devotee, more realization, more bhakti will come. So that's why devotional service always called congregational. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced congregational change. Together, not going alone. So that is the safest way in progressing in spiritual life to reach to the self-realization. Because devotee will remind you of nothing. Krishna is there. So each and every step there is some devotee protecting you. So that's why devotional service always has to perform under the guidance of the devotee, the association of devotees, and then realization always has to become humble and meek. When you're becoming humble means you are on right path. Otherwise, now you are diverting from the right path to some other path. So there is thousands of paths are there. It can take you anywhere, but not to the Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Finish? Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki